Hello everyone, I'm Inverse and this is game 4 of the replay review marathon series. This is a vanilla match on Langres between our hero and friend Sergeant Basilone. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not really sure. However, he will be playing the Americans up here in the north, and down here in the ominous fog of war we have Budwise. Yay, Budwise reborn. Good old Budwise. So Budwise, Basilone, get this thing started. Engineers, there we go, and engineers, lots of engineers. Anyways, for those of you unfamiliar with the replay review format, I'm going to be watching this game with the fog of war on from the American player's perspective, and I'm going to be focusing on more educational tips and tricks, stuff like that, not so much game analysis, or at least play-by-play analysis, more strategy focused and improvement based. Let's get on with the map now. Langres, US versus Wehrmacht. I find it very, very good for Wehrmacht. However, I do like it a lot as Americans as well. Typically comes down to fighting for the left hand side and one side controlling the right hand side. Kind of gets split around this middle road right here. Pretty standard stuff. Really popular to go for the Volkswagen Sniper MG openings on this map, at least for the Axis side, just because it's really easy to control this right hand side of the map. However, for Americans, typically see standard 4 rifle starts, bars, fast M8, sometimes fast weapon support centers, lots of different stuff American players can do on this map. Pretty good map, lots of variety. It does, however, tend to devolve into stalemates late game, which is why I always VP rush. I will always cap my bottom VP right after I cap this munitions point, and then I will go straight to this VP with this rifle squad, which Basilone might be doing. Excuse me guys, sorry, I still have that cough. But meanwhile, we do see a second rifle squad coming out of the barracks. Standard little bit of capping right here, looking like the Wehrmacht players on the left hand side. I'm assuming this is a Pioneer, just because this is already capped. You tend to cap this with your Volk squad, and if this is getting capped as well, yep, Pioneer squad right there. Just kind of a small positional thing to note. Always want to take note early game of what your opponent's capped already and what he hasn't capped. Not a bad idea coming over here onto the left hand side, pushing off this Pioneer. This munitions point very essential for the Wehrmacht player when he starts on the south location like this, just because it's a +16. It's the only +16 munitions point on the map, and it's very valuable, and it's very good if you can control it or even deny control of it from your opponent. Either of those perfectly acceptable. Meanwhile, second rifle squad coming in on the right hand side. Gonna want to probably try to jump in this building as soon as possible. Reason being, this is kind of the focal point of this map and this side early on in this game. If a Volk squad gets in there, you're going to need a flamer to force it out without taking too many losses. Meanwhile, if a rifle squad gets in there, he's going to need a flamer or a sniper, something like that, which is very good. This rifle squad's still in this house. I would recommend popping it out, at least trying to cap that point over there. We have 2 Volks over here. Excuse me, 2 Volks over here building sandbags. So this is one way to counter this kind of map control on this side early in the game. However, something a bit more substantial is probably going to have to be created for the Wehrmacht player, at least. Just trying to think of kind of a standard early game. Good capping on the left hand side for Basilone. Not too much interesting stuff going on. One thing to note, a lot of passivity by the Wehrmacht player. Pretty good indication of Volkswagen Sniper MG. I would not be surprised if we see a sniper very soon, as we should be seeing one right like any second now. It'll take a shot if he did go for that route. If not, yep, there's the sniper right there. So Volkswagen Sniper MG opening. There are a few ways you can approach this. You can go fast bars and just kind of flank. The only thing is you have to be wary of mines. Langres, a pretty good map to flank against this strategy on. However, if your opponent plays smartly and keeps it, say down here, or down here, a sniper that is, and supports it with the MG he gets, it's going to be pretty difficult to push him off. Of course, there are a lot of flanking routes. You can come in down this way, you can come around here, down here, through here, around here, and down here. So you can pretty much send every single one of your squads to a different location. Meanwhile, we see the Wehrmacht player pushing a bit on the left-hand side. This is going to be a cue for the American player to hopefully cap up a lot of this right-hand side. Already getting this fuel point down here, so that's good. And should be trying to cap this VP just to kind of get an advantage. Also should be capping this VP back here. VPs really put pressure on your opponents. If you have nothing else to do with your rifles, your engineers, any of your squads early game, might as well cap. I mean, they're not doing anything else, so definitely always good to have them doing stuff that'll pay off instead of just kind of being a wasted investment. This attack, I really don't like. He should just retreat out of this. If we open up the tactical map, we see he is trying to flank in. However, he sent this one squad in far too early, and the rest of his squads, just they're not going to get into position in time. This is the thing with this strat. This one also hitting a mine. The thing with this strategy the Wehrmacht player is doing and the counter Basilone is trying, he did go bars. However, like that entire flank, I'm just going to pause it for a second and just talk about this entire flank. We see what the Wehrmacht player has right now. We see these two Volks. We know he retreated his sniper, so the sniper's going to be over here. We assume he has an MG somewhere in here. We didn't see the MG in that last engagement, but we assume, given the timing of everything, this isn't building anything right now. Play it. It's not building anything. There's no light right there, so he already has the MG on the field. Furthermore, bars literally just popped a few seconds ago. Bars popped, and this one rifle squad had moved in like 10 seconds before bars popped. Opening up the tactical map right now again, we see this squad lagging behind. This squad's going to come up here to engage. These two squads were forced to retreat because of that early engagement, and now you have bars. So now you are at your strongest and your opponent is at his weakest. This is the one main vulnerability in the Volk Sniper MG start, is the fact that you cannot physically hold off a bar flank unless you get some really good mines off. If your opponent flanks properly, you cannot hold off the bar flank. So going for the bar solution to this opening would have been great. It's a great idea, and I do it personally a whole heck of a lot, but you need to execute it properly, and this rifle squad is going to survive. Wow. I don't know how that happened. That was very lucky. But nevertheless, we do have very good map control for our American player. He still has all the right hand side. He's denied fuel on the left hand side. So with this in mind, he should really be getting the supply yard. This is good. Even if you don't expect vehicle play or any sort of tier 3, tier 4 play too early, it's always good to get the supply yard if you have the fuel. It's not very much. It's only 100 manpower. It's not very much, and it really gives you an advantage in terms of just manpower income, and it's a bit of time you save if you need a snap defense against vehicles because you don't account for something that your opponent's doing and he gets an early vehicle on you, or an earlier than expected vehicle for that matter. But after this, I would really like to see, we see grenades coming out. I don't really like grenades. We see this munitions, fairly good munitions income, but it's pretty spread out. We have these 2 points, which are going to be pretty safe as long as he keeps an infantry presence on the left hand side of the map. And this one, as the Wehrmacht player gains strength, and since he's focusing on this left hand side, he should be able to harass this point right here. A little engagement up here, but in general, I would like to see a weapon support center at this point, just because after that if your first flank doesn't kill the sniper, you're going to have a pretty tough time killing it with a flank later on in the game, unless you go for a really aggressive flank and you get lucky and catch some units out of position, or you land a mine hit and you get lucky with a mine and your opponent hits the mine and he loses a sniper that way. But kind of weird, not much map presence by the Wehrmacht player. I would have expected rather the sniper to be doing more. He is, however, moving up on the left hand side a little bit. 2 snipers now, so it's okay. This is the strat Budweiser likes to do. It is 2 Volks, 2 sniper, and either 2 Volks, 2 sniper MG. I think it's actually 2 Volks, sniper MG, sniper. This is a bad idea right here. He's going to lose 2 more men and then be forced to retreat. This is just trying to think. I actually haven't played against this personally, but just kind of theory crafting what I would do against it. I would definitely get a counter sniper. You want a counter sniper because you want to kill one of these snipers. And with 2 snipers, your opponent's going to feel pretty invincible. He's going to feel pretty good. He's going to move very aggressively with those snipers because they give him a pretty good advantage. This actually should probably charge, and if he should be able to kill one right here. Run back, and okay, so 1 sniper's dead. Yes, dead. No. Yes, 1 sniper's dead. 2nd sniper does get out. At this point in time, I would 100% throw down a weapon support center and get a sniper of my own. You are definitely ahead as an American player by killing that sniper. The problem and the strength in early snipers like that, 1 sniper, I mean, it's risky. If you lose it, you're behind. 2 snipers, very, very risky. Not only if you lose one will you be behind, but you lose a lot of the map control and a lot of the capping power that an extra tier 1 unit gives you over that sniper. So you really need to make use of those 2 snipers. So losing a sniper going 2 snipers is even more of a pain than losing a sniper when you go Volkswagen Sniper MG. Now we do have infantry company being selected by Basilone. Very, very good idea. Very, very powerful to be spamming mines. This squad gonna want to retreat. Shows his grenades for the first time, so that's going to prompt Budwise to probably get either another tier 1 unit, or at this point we can assume the Wehrmacht player is going to go for tier 3 eventually. It's going to be pretty slow just because of the fuel denial and the fuel harassment Basilone's been doing, but he is going to get tier 3. With that in mind, this is not a bad idea, this motor pool. I don't have anything wrong with that. I hope he doesn't build anything out of it right away. I would like to see another... Where's his other engineer? His other engineer, I'd like to see this squad retreated and building a weapon support center. At this point, with this much manpower and this much fuel, Basilone can... that sucks. Rebuild an engineer, please. Basilone should 100% be able to afford an AT gun and a sniper. And the sniper just going to be really, really good against, of course, the enemy sniper. I'd like to see sticky bombs just as a precaution. Sticky bombs, they're not really good as a counter. We see blitz, so it's definitely going to be tier 3. Sticky bombs, not really good as a counter. However, good as a deterrent if you get them early and then your opponent surprises you with vehicles. It's a fairly cheap upgrade, 80 manpower, 25 fuel. At this point, that's essentially nothing to Basilone. He's floating a heck of a lot. Getting something. He just spent, yeah, he's getting a triage center. I don't like this. Triage right after the motor pool. If you're going to build a motor pool, build something out of the motor pool right away. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting the time. Like, he could have built this triage center before this motor pool in this situation, and he would have gotten a lot more benefit out of the triage center than he is right now. Furthermore, I would like to see a weapon support center before this triage center. Of course, a triage center in this situation, definitely not a bad idea. We are seeing an M8 on the field. This isn't a bad idea either, M8 or AT gun. He's going to want an AT gun to follow that up, just because an M8 alone cannot really counter tier 3. You need AT gun support, but you can take advantage of the fact that the Wehrmacht player almost certainly won't have a pack for at least a little while, so good thinking by Basilone. I definitely like that M8 choice. However, I would like to see a faster weapon support center still, and a fairly fast first supply yard upgrade. I really, really like the early first supply yard upgrades. And is that 2 snipers? Yep, 2 snipers. So 100% could have actually canceled this the moment he saw the 2 snipers and gotten his weapon support center, gotten an early sniper. However, with all of the manpower he has, he can just afford to throw down a weapon support center and get some snipers. Really, really, really good mine placement by Basilone. I really want to point that out because that's a very, very important aspect of playing against this strategy. It's going to be really, really dangerous for Budwise to push out on this right-hand side unless he has minesweepers. Excuse me. We also saw Basilone chilling in his base with this M8 while his upgrades finish. I don't really like that. I'd like to have it out doing a little bit of damage, even if it does provoke an earlier response from your opponent before you can do full damage with it, meaning before you have the up gun, the 50 cal machine gun on top. It just does more damage early on. You've made a pretty hefty investment getting this unit out there, especially considering he's gone for the more heavy anti-infantry strategy. He's getting VET 1 now, so you can really, really delay that AT. He shouldn't be getting an AT gun for sure. He should definitely get the supply yard upgrade, and he is going to get an AT gun. I don't like that AT gun. I would have really gotten the supply yard upgrade and a weapon support center. Get a sniper, and then right after that sniper, your next 280 manpower, get the triage center. I mean, not the triage center, get the AT gun. And the reason for that is he's made such an investment in infantry, 340 manpower for that extra sniper on top of the 2 snipers he's already built and the one he lost, and the fact that he's just playing super defensively. He has he has Vet 1 in his infantry already, which means later vehicles just to start. He doesn't have anything in his base that you can see. You've scouted down here, you've also scouted in here. You don't see anything. Gonna want to retreat right here. He's just bleeding manpower at this point. It's a mine. Retreat, please. Retreat. And he doesn't have a counter sniper still. Still no counter sniper. Can be aggressive with this M8, however, not that aggressive. This is the one thing you have to worry about. Vet 2 as well already. So cancel. Gonna want to cancel. No, it doesn't end up canceling. He's probably gonna lose this squad or this M8, unfortunately. Probably a mine around here, but if not, that's interesting. But yeah, definitely wants a weapon support center at this point. Vet 2 infantry. I believe Budweiser's strat is Vet 2 infantry, and then he gets tier 3 on top of this. So every single bit of fuel afterwards is gonna be going towards tier 3. This is gonna be nice. I'm gonna watch this. I'm actually gonna zoom in and watch. Boom! I actually didn't do nearly as much as I hoped it would. Oh well, that's depressing. But yeah, this AT gun, essentially useless. Still doesn't have a supplier to upgrade. Really need that supplier to upgrade sooner rather than later, because the earlier you get it, the earlier you can get more veterancy, and veterancy is very hard to get once your opponent has Vet 2, just because of that elite armor. So very lucky that he actually kept that that he kept the M8 alive. However, still doesn't have that triage center or the Vet 1 or the supplier to upgrade one. That should be the kind of goal of you as an American player, is how early can I get the supplier upgrades while remaining safe from everything else, which means I have my sniper so I can counter his tier 2. I have my AT and my sticky bomb so I can counter his tier 3. I do not need anything desperately right now. If he throws anything at me, I will survive. I might be behind, I might be in a tough spot, but I will survive. In that case, get supplier upgrades, because the longer the game goes on, the better off you're going to be with those supplier upgrades. Pause. Why Howitzer? There's zero reason for a Howitzer. We don't have a med bunker. We don't have any sort of static play. We have snipers. Very easy to dodge artillery with snipers. Very easy to dodge artillery with only 1 MG and Volks and Stormtroopers. We don't have packs, so it's not like he's using the Howitzer to deflect packs. There's really no reason for this Howitzer right now. It's a waste of resources this early in the game. He should really, once again, be getting the weapon support center, getting the supply yard upgrades. But aside from that, Basilone is in a very good spot. I mean, it's not a great spot. He really needs to repair this M8, but I mean, he is in a decent position in this game. However, if he doesn't counter the snipers, if he doesn't manage to do anything against those snipers, he's going to be absolutely screwed, because snipers, 2 snipers, 1 sniper is bad enough. If 1 sniper lasts into the mid game, it's a huge pain in the butt for an American player to deal with, and a huge crutch that the Wehrmacht player can lean on and give him a huge advantage going into the mid game, which we see right now. Furthermore, pretty late retreating for Basilone. Going to want to retreat. He's actually going to lose this rifle squad. If he's... Wow. And what'd he kill? Okay. So maybe I was wrong. The Howitzer definitely paying for itself with that 1 sniper kill. That was a very nice, I think, bundle grenade. No, I can't select anymore. So yeah, Howitzer definitely paid for itself right there, but he still doesn't have he still doesn't have a weapon support center, and he doesn't have snipers, and he has an AT gun that he really didn't need to build because he was still building it. While, like, that's one thing, if you're building something and your opponent shows you something and it's like, hey, I don't want this, this is a bad idea, don't be afraid to cancel it. Like, absolutely don't be afraid to cancel it. This AT gun 100% should have been canceled. There is, like, I'd be surprised if we took the Fog of War off, if there was anything in Budweiser's base that this AT gun would be good against. Meanwhile, this is kind of dangerous Howitzer placement just in general for this location. You're probably going to want to put it a little bit further back and then mine up your entrances, especially against a blitz player. And the other sniper actually dies to a mine. Budweiser's probably raging right now, but yeah. Build not howitzers and AT guns. What did he call in? He called in some. No, he built another rifle squad. He built a 5th rifle squad, probably thinking he lost. He actually mentioned this in the game as one of the mistakes he made, building this extra rifle squad. I really don't think it's a mistake if he gets the earlier supply yard upgrade. Still no supply yard upgrade if we look right here. Meanwhile, down to 230 manpower. It's been like this for a decent while. And now that we have the stew on the field, we're going to want to see sticky bombs, and we're going to want the AT gun to be moving up a little bit. Good job there. Going to want to use the M8 in tandem with the AT gun as well, just to force back infantry. The stew not very good against the M8. I mean, it's decent, but it's not great. And without tier 2, you don't have to really be worried about packs. Good job harassing on the left-hand side with this M8. This is what you want to do if you're at all worried. Like, this is perfectly fine for Basilisk to do, or Basilone to do rather, just because he's a little worried about what his opponent might have. It's perfectly fine. Keep it on the other side of the map. Keep it harassing. Keep it active, though. Don't just sit it in your base and wait for, like, your opponent to base rush you and then you have a bit of extra damage, because that's really not going to help you out at all. Yeah, moving up on the left-hand side. I like this move. I want to see the stuff I've been asking for the last 10 minutes, though. I want to see the supply yard upgrade, and I want to see a weapon support center. At this point, pretty low on manpower. And the reason for that is this howitzer, of course, and that 5th rifle squad. And without any sort of supply yard upgrade, look at the vet. 0 vet. We have no kills on this squad. 7 kills on this squad, but no vet. 3 kills and 6 kills, but no vet. With the supply yard, you would at least have one, probably 2 of those squads with vet 1 at least, which makes it far easier to get vet 2 and vet 3 and so on and so forth. And this howitzer has only, I think, shot 1 barrage, which if you're going to build a howitzer, hotkey it. I can't see if he hotkeyed it because code doesn't let me, but hotkey it somewhere. Hotkey it. I like to hotkey it to 4 or 5, depends on how many snipers I'm going to build, but hotkey it to something and constantly be tapping back to it and just seeing if the cooldown's down. And even if you don't have a great target, against a composition like this, your opponent's going to be around the map a ton, and just shooting it at anything you think might do a little bit of damage is definitely going to pay off, especially in relation to like not shooting it at all. At least shooting it, you do something. Meanwhile, another sniper being built, and still no weapon support center. The stew is getting shot down, but he didn't get chased. Good M8 unit preservation. That one now, very, very good on that. Keeping it alive. Keeping, continually poking, which is very, very good. Still really, really good mine positioning as well, and mine spam. Very, very good on that front. However, sad panda. Little lapse in focus. That's fine, though. But finally getting the first supplier upgrade. Still doesn't have that weapon support center. And I know you're worried about Pumas maybe, or Cloak Storms with MP44s, but oh boy, timeout. I'm sorry. Whew. Dang. Oh, big yawn. Well, I was saying something important, then I completely forgot it. Oh yeah, being afraid of MP44 Storms is a perfectly valid fear to have at this point in the game, considering how many storms your opponent has shown you. However, like the cost of not where is it there it is, the cost of not getting a weapon support center far and away is worse than the risk you put yourself in by getting a sniper against a player who's using a lot of storms, especially against this vet 3 infantry. He's not going to be able to crack this with the infantry he has right now, and without the supplier upgrades. Like, I would like to see an insta supplier upgrade too right now. All that fuel's not an issue at this point, and manpower is a very, very little issue, especially the amount of manpower that it would take to get the upgrade that he wants, or that he should want at least, or that he should get for that matter. Capping, no, not capping, running in the middle. This is nice little flank right here. Rifle squad's retreating, very, very good. But he still doesn't have a solid answer to those storms. And right now, Budweiser's just using these storms like he would Grens. He's got vet 3. I mean, they are a lot of pop cap, but They're definitely strong and definitely have a whole heck of a lot of utility. And without, he's going to lose this squad. If he doesn't lose this squad, he is literally the luckiest man in the entire world. Wow, this is like the third 1 health squad that's gotten out of this game. How do you do it, sir? Tell me. But yeah, he has no solid response for the Stormtroopers. He can't use vehicles because of, there we go, finally the weapon support center, 13 minutes too late. But that's okay, hey, better late than never, I suppose. In terms of VP, good job, or VPs rather, good job by Basilone, just keeping up on the VPs in the middle, but I'm a little worried that it's, where's that artillery going off? In the middle here. I'm a little worried that it's a little too late. Lots of littles there. I am worried that it is, voice crack. Haha, this is not going well. Let's try this a 4th time. I am worried that it is too late in terms of getting this weapons support center. The Grens have, or the Storms for that matter, have already done such a ridiculous amount of damage. And at this point in the game, like, his snipers have been tearing, oh boy, more crazy yawns. His snipers have been tearing Basilone apart. Basilone has not been able to answer at all, and this is why, despite the awesome mine spread of Basilone, lots of mines around here, they've all kind of been triggered, however, unfortunately. It's very important against a blitz player to be mining up little chokes like this, areas like right here, especially if you're going to be using AT guns in the open. It's very dangerous having AT guns against a blitz player and not supporting them with mines like that, or just having like 2 rifle squads around, because Storms give a pretty good amount of vet experience. I think it's twice Volks and Pios. I think it's 2 experience maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm sure someone will clarify for me, but it's a decent amount for sure. And if you have a few rifles near your AT gun, even if he pops up and kills your AT gun, you can easily kill those Stormtroopers, or at least force them to retreat, recrew the AT gun, and you get a little bit of vet experience out of the deal as well. Meanwhile, still nothing being built out of that weapon support center. 2 stews on the right hand side. This squad probably going to want to retreat. No real point in him being there. And a little push by Basilone. Still getting harassed by that sniper, however, by Budwise. The 4th sniper, I believe, he's built. I think that's right. Infantry squad reporting casualties. What lied? Man, I can't talk today. But he's going to try to recruit this. This is asking for failure. Yeah, against this many stews, you need a good position in order to engage. Just kind of a dangerous preposition. Cute little move right here, planting a mine right behind him. Hoping he doesn't notice it. That might very well work. But it'll only slow Budwise down. Not really going to do too much in the way of actual damage. But I really do think if Basilone gets... Oh, enemy unit down? Don't tell me he killed another sniper. Nope. Probably just a pioneer, but this is one risk of howitzers against blitz as well. But I just can't emphasize enough how important those supplier upgrades earlier and that earlier weapon support center would have been to this game. He would have been able to control the middle of the map so much easier. He would have been able to control the Stormtroopers so much easier. He would have veterancy. He has a little bit of vet 1, but this is 26 minutes into the game. The Wehrmacht player has had vet 3 for probably 15 minutes right now, and no vet on rifles means you literally cannot compete with those kind of upgrades from a Wehrmacht player. And the sniper going around the left hand side. Not too much going on, lots of stuff dying. No AT right now, kind of strapped for manpower at this point in the game. Decent income, however. We saw in the middle of the game just a surplus of manpower, and just the ways he spent it, not really intelligent. This howitzer did not pay off. This motor pool didn't really do too much at the time that Basilone got it. He would have wanted, or he definitely wanted this and the supplier upgrade before the motor pool, and GG tapping out, and the game is over. So yeah, just kind of a summary, since that was a pretty fast-paced game. I didn't really have many opportunities and many spots where I wanted to pause, but I feel like I did say most of what I wanted to say. In summary, pay attention to what your opponent's doing when you see veterancy like that. Don't be afraid to cancel things you have building, even cancel buildings themselves. Always remember, focus on the supply yard. Focus on the supply yard upgrades. Ask yourself, can I get this and still be safe against everything my opponent can do? If the answer is yes, get it. If the answer is no, get whatever you need to be safe and then get the supply yard upgrade. Furthermore, surplus of manpower, surplus of fuel, supply yard upgrades, weapon support center. Even if you get the weapon support center or you don't build anything from it, the weapon support center itself is such a valuable building, and it comes at such a low cost. I think it's 180.15, something like that. It's so cheap that even just building it when an engineer retreats and you think you might use it or you might need to use it, and then say you have 340 manpower floating and you don't need to reinforce or build anything else, like, hey, get a sniper, especially against a sniper heavy strat like Budweiser was doing. This Howitzer, not very good against obvious tier 1, tier 3 or tier 1, tier 4 strats. No way in hell, pardon the French, but no way Budweiser was going tier 2 after getting that early vet 2 and not showing any tier 2 units for such a long time. And if he does go tier 2, oh well, you get your sniper and you get your supply yard upgrade, both of which will be good against anything he's doing. These, getting this and getting the sniper, are good if he goes tier 2, they're good if he delays until tier 3 with a lot of storms, they're good if he delays until tier 4 with a lot of storms. Howitzer are only good against one of those options, and the option that he showed was probably the least likely to be occurring. Get that Howitzer, sure, but get it after you know your opponent's going tier 2. So with that, I think I'm done with this replay. Thank you for watching. I will be posting game 5 hopefully tomorrow. I don't see why I shouldn't have it up sometime tomorrow. So do check that out. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my stream. I've been streaming pretty much daily, trying to comment on my play. Pretty good way to get a little bit of insight into how I play and just how I think. And I try to make it as entertaining and educational as possible. So check that out. Link down here, twitch.tv/InverseTV. Of course, subscribe to me on YouTube if you like what you see. Follow me on Twitter for updates on random stuff when I'm streaming, when I'm posting videos, all that fun stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.